Here's some hot takes from the Talking Habs and Don't Puck with Media crew for the 2024-25 NHL season. Let us know what you think in the comments section. Do you have any early hot takes for next season for your team and players?
And you know what? I'm going to say it. Caden Primo steals the starter's job from Sam Montembeault by the end of the year.
Ooh, I like this one.
So there's a hot take.
Yeah, you could say I'm the real master of hot takes in hockey.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of more. I'm the one editing it, so.
I think for next season, we should be playing meaningful hockey into March.
They're going to be playing meaningful games in March for sure, I think.
Yeah, I think Travis Konechny finally hits the 40-goal mark next season.
I don't know I guess for me, it's kind of like expectations.
Yes, Owen Tippett is going to score close to 40 goals this year, and it's going to be in large parts playing with Matvei Michkov.
Matvei Michkov, I think, finishes with 47 points, 21 goals, 26 assists.
I think a hot take for me is I want to see Elias Lindholm actually get 80 points.
I think Montreal ends up you don't want to see on my forehead. I think Montreal ends up somewhere, I'm going to say around 85 points, but I've given it before now 85 to 88 points, somewhere in there.
Is that going to happen? I don't know, but I'd love to see it.
It's not necessarily be a huge hot take, but I think it's a hot take considering where some teams have the Habs in early predictions. I think the Habs end up being a wild card team.
I think if all goes well, we should be playing meaningful hockey into March. We should be, right on the bubble of a wild card spot.
I think they end up getting that second wild card seed. It would suck if they go against the Panthers because I like both the teams. Obviously, I'd go for the Habs.
Missing the wild card spot by a little bit, but making a run at it and falling off, which that's kind of what I expect to happen.
I think they're going to be on the playoff bubble again.
I said I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't yet. I think they're going to be around what they were last year.
It's hard for me to just say, yeah, they'll be finishing the top 8. But I think that they're going to be right there in the thick of things until the end, much like last season.
I think they'll end 6th or 5th in the division. I'll put them at 87, 88 points.
There's still some question marks for the Flyers.
So, yeah, 39, 33, and 10 will be my record.
I don't think they make the playoffs.
I think they'll make the second wild card. I think they're going to have a very good year considering where they're on the rebuilds compared to Ottawa and Buffalo and the lack of an Iser plan in Detroit. I think they're going to finish with near 40 wins. If they don't get there, then they're out. If they get over 40 wins, they're the second wild card, I think.
Lindholm, aside from last year, the past 3 years thereafter or there before were 1 point, 0.8, and 0.8 points per game. So he's 30. He's still in his prime. So I don't foresee him. I actually see him getting better, especially playing on the line with Zacha and Pasternak.
Brendan Gallagher is going to actually play the season. And it may be the last full season he's able to play.
He's going to end up feeding Pasternak a lot. And Zacha right. as well. So I think it's a good line for him to actually get. So he is going to get the points, in my opinion. How many? I'm going to go off and say 80. I think the team is that much deeper with the 1C.
I expect Kirby Dach to be healthy all season. I expect that.
Kirby Dach stays healthy for the year. We don't. Again, we improve again on kind of the injury bug.
Kirby Dach hits 65 points.
I think Morgan Frost breaks out this year because I firmly believe that it's going to be Forrester, Frost, and Michkov. I don't firmly believe. That's just my personal opinion, I should say.
I think Owen Tippett ends up cracking close to 40 goals this year.
Now their third line is solidified. There's just still that one question at who's the second right wing. It's likely to either be Merkulov or Lysell.
I think Cole Caulfield will score 35 plus. So 35, maybe a little more, and maybe a lot more, but 35.
I think Cole Caulfield's scoring touch will come back. Should be right around where he was point-wise this year. Probably should break 70 points.
Cole Caulfield gets 40 goals.
Nick Suzuki is a point-a-game player, and maybe a little more than that as well.
I think it's safe to say Suzuki's probably going to be a point a game or over that.
Nick Suzuki, 85 points.
Slavkovsky. I'm just going to be bold and say Slavkovsky gets 70 points.
I think Slavkovsky's going to be pushing 70 points, maybe 20 game. Again, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
That would be a heck of a line to have. So I think Morgan Frost could possibly crack 60, 70 points, finally. I finally see Owen Tippett, going to hit that 30-goal mark.
I have pressed that I want Tippett and Mitchkov glued together as opposite side wings. My hot take, Owen Tippett, 38 goals, I'll put it at.
I could see the young Tyson Forster, possibly, coming out and, maybe cracking possibly 28 to 30 goals this year, especially if he plays on a line with Frost and Mitchkov.
I'd like to see Lysell make the team, and I'd like to see him score 35 to 40 points in his first NHL season. I think he'd be playing with Marchand and Coyle, so it would be very attainable. I'd say more closer to the 40 plus mark. Points, not goals, so I'd like to see Lysell make the team, and I'd like to see him, put in the effort. That's what I need. And to be honest, in my opinion, that's what needs to happen, or you need to move on from him.
Joshua Roy will do a pretty good job filling in or a placeholder for Demidov till he gets here on the second line.
It's going to be exciting to have Lane Hudson here for a full year. Wouldn't shock me at all if he's in top 5, top 6 in the team in points. I think he's that creative. Probably a lot of secondary assists, a lot of primary assists coming his way. It's going to be an exciting time.
I still think that goaltending is going to be a key cog for the Flyers in 2024-25. Not so much the goal scoring for once. I think the goal scoring, I don't think they'll have trouble the majority of games scoring some goals. With Mitchkov adding to the arsenal of that, he just gives them an extra, leeway there.
I think Matvei Mitchkov, I originally had him at 51 points. I'm going to bump it up a little bit. I'm going to say he's going to get close to 56, 57. We'll see. I think he struggles at first, but the second and third of the season, he takes off.
I look at them comparatively to the 2004 Blackhawks or the 2007, Blackhawks. They draft Patrick Kane. They're bad the 1 year, and then the next year, they're a playoff team. I think we're kind of the 07-08 Hawks, except we make the playoffs. I'm not saying we're going to be a dynasty like the Hawks. No, don't worry. But I think we are in a similar pattern to where the Blackhawks were in the late 2000s.
I'm kind of hoping they make it out of the second round. I think their defensive core is going back to being one of the deeper ones. So I'm hoping they at least make it to the third round. Hopefully they have a chip on their shoulder. I don't think they're out yet. They got better depth-wise on the offense.
I do think one of Savard or Matheson won't be finishing the season with the team. I think one of them is moved at the trade deadline or even before the season starts. For me, I think it's Matheson because I think Lane Hudson's taking his spot as that primary puck mover and that quarterback on the first power play. And with that being said, I think Savard's a better partner for Hudson, a better veteran partner there. So I think for me, it's Matheson.
I'm the opposite of Matt as far as defenseman that stays. I think Matheson stays and doesn't get traded. I think Savard gets traded at the deadline. Why? I think Matheson is a guy they're going to re-sign, and he's going to be around for a few years. Whereas it's unlikely that Savard is, but here's a counter to that hot take about Savard. I could just as easily see them re-sign Savard as well.
Samuel Ersson and Ivan Fedotov are the keys, I think, to the Flyers' success in 2024-25.
Ersson, if I was doing a prediction for you guys, Ersson needs to have an above 900.
Yeah, and he could have a down season this year, and then rebound next year.
And this is probably going to be the biggest hot take, but it's one I'm willing to stand by, and it's more realistic than Mitchkov getting 100 points. I'm going to say Lane Hudson puts up 55 points in his rookie season.
Now, Matheson, I think, has 2 years left on the contract, so that's not a worry right now. But it's valuable valuable veteran leadership on the back end. When you got so many young defensemen, you really need that. I think that it's possible they actually resign both of them. But I think if it's going to be one, it's going to be Matheson.
Corpusalo, just please don't fuck up this team, I guess. I don't know. I think he'll steal you games on the back-to-backs.
You can say, well, you got Lane Hudson and all that, but Lane Hudson isn't Lane Hudson yet. And it might take him 2 or 3 years. And maybe you want Matheson here as a really good mentor to teach Lane Hudson how to be that guy.
Looking at what Lane Hudson does and who could be a good partner for him, I think down the road, Reinbacher is going to be that guy. I think Savard's a perfect partner for him. You know, if not Savard, I think Dooley could be a great partner for him. Again, while we wait for kind of Reinbacher to develop more.
I think he's going to have a damn good rookie season. I think he's going to finish top 5 in the Calder voting, potentially top 3. Lane Hudson's going to have a phenomenal year.
Can Sanheim repeat last season? Can Cam York replicate his season from last season?
Yeah.
You know, can Jamie Drysdale finally become 100% healthy and become that player that, you know, most fans think that he will be?
I do also think Jordan Harris is moved before the season starts because, again, logjam at defense. He's kind of the odd man out there.
I'm going to say it. Caden Primo steals the starter's job from Sam Montembeault by the end of the year. I think we've seen a lot out of Primo, and I think he's tired of being the backup. I think he wants that starter's job, and he's going to play his ass off to earn it by the end of the season.
Kind of very similar to Slafkovsky. I think, what did he get, 50 points for you guys last year?
50, yeah. But, I mean, he was almost a point a game at the end. You know, like
that's
he
what
really
I expect.
Yeah.
That's what I expect out of Michkov. I think he'll be maybe that first third of the season, he maybe puts up like 10 points in like the first 22, 23 games. And then, boom, the game clicks. He starts really finding his groove around early December, and he ends up with like 21 goals and 35 assists.
I think as the season goes on, you'll see the team get better. And I think that's the natural progression for a lot of teams too.
There's still question marks, in my opinion, to say, hey, yes, I could see them actually being a playoff team right now.
Right.
You know, so and they're definitely going to be a playoff bubble team. 8 to 10 is where I have them because they're so unknowns.
Thank you very much, Rick, for having me. I love doing these interviews with you.
As Matt said, thank you, Rick, for having me. I really appreciate the interview. And as always, it's been a blast.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Rick, man. You know, you guys do a fantastic job, man. Your fan base is phenomenal, so I appreciate you.
Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
No problem. Happy to be on.
That's it. I don't have any others. Thanks for watching. If you like this, give a thumbs up, leave a comment, and please share this video. Anyways, those are my hot takes. I don't have any others.